Illusions. What are they? Why is it that when we put our head on the pillow, that we seem to enter a new realm? Oh, ruined it. Sorry, I can't be deep. So, today we're going to be talking about dreams, nightmares, those weird things that happen when you sleep. What are they? What are the weirdest you've ever had, the worst nightmares? Perhaps some of the best. And what has triggered this conversation is that not last night, but the night before, I had one of the most vivid, I guess you could call it a nightmare, that I have ever had. And when I say vivid, I mean it felt just like reality. Like most dreams, nightmares, you know it's a dream, right? Like it's not a big deal. But this one felt like I was really there. And when I woke up, I felt emotional. Like I felt sad, which is weird because it was kind of a nightmare, so you'd think I would feel happy. But for some reason, I had an overwhelming sadness when I woke up. And I have no idea why. That was my brain doing that, not me. And then we'll go into because you have a dream or nightmare every night. The first thing you do in the morning is say, "Oh yeah, this is what I dreamt."
Yeah, but you're never really interested in hearing my dreams.
I always hear them. What are you talking about? I say you should make a dream journal and write them down.
Yeah, we should probably do that.
But yeah, so the nightmare. This was the nightmare I had, right? Very strange. So for some reason, I don't know what I was doing. I think I was like a courier, like I was delivering something. And I went all the way over to the United States, to a place called Minnesota. And I have no idea where that is on the map, by the way. I've got no idea. But that's where I went to. And I remember because I just that's where I went in the dream. And I was delivering something to someone. And I was staying at a hotel. And the hotel was fine. Just like a normal hotel. I'd never seen this building in my life. I'd never seen this place in my life. That's the strange thing. It's like most of the times in dreams, it's usually like your room or your neighborhood, just a bit edited. This is a completely new place. I've never been here before. So I went over there and I was meant to deliver something to someone. Again, it's like the details in dreams disappear after a while.
No, never mind. I was thinking, isn't that where the riots are going down? So maybe you were delivering some soy food to the Shas people?
Isn't that somewhere else that begins with M? Minneapolis.
Oh, maybe.
This was Minnesota, wherever that is. America, but places in America have weird names. Why can't everything end in Shire like here? Much prefer Yorkshire to Minnesota and Minneapolis. What language is that?
English.
It's not. Fuck that. Sounds like that's some French shit. Anyway, so I was in Minnesota, wherever that is, and I was delivering something, and I had to go through this park to get where I wanted to go, right? So it's like a grass field full of bushes with like a path in between it. And as I was turning a corner in this park, this blonde woman police officer and two men who were also police officers at the side of them put the gun on me and said, "Civilian, get to the side, quick, go. We've got a situation here." And I was like, "What?" Anyway, I just ran to I put my hands up, because obviously I didn't want to get shot. And I just ran to where they were pointing. And where they were pointing, there was also a bunch of other people who I assume were also civilians, because they weren't in uniforms, and they were shit scared. They were like, what the hell's going on? What is this? It's like a woman crying. And so there's loads of people on like this park. And we were all just like, what's going on? Anyway, after only being there for like a minute, looking around like, what the hell is going on? I notice two people in the bushes coming out with like shotguns or sort of like some sort of like heavy weapon. And they were sort of slowly coming out the bushes with them. And they were aiming them at us. Like us as in the civilians. And I was like, that's when I remember thinking in the nightmare, I gotta get the fuck out of here, because if I don't, they're gonna shoot me. So I run for it. I'm just getting the hell out. And as I start running, the people who didn't run behind me, the people who were next to me, they end up getting shot. And all of a sudden, everything completely breaks out. The police are firing at these people. The people are dying. Everything's going crazy in this park. And I'm like, fuck this. I'm getting out of here. So I run back to the hotel. And I make it to the hotel. And it's all over the news. It's like a big story. It's on the internet. Everyone's talking about it. and I end up going to sleep. I don't pass out. I just end up going to sleep. I'm like, oh my God, it's like that when you realize, it's like a feeling where you realize I could have died then and I didn't. Like I made it out there. My luck, I got a dice, I rolled a 10 on luck, right? I got out of there. And I woke up in the morning and I realized, shit, I should probably tell, everyone at home, like you, that I'm alive. So I go on my phone and I'm expecting a shit ton of messages like, where are you? Are you alive? But no one did anything. No one messaged. In fact, the only person that messaged was an old friend of mine who I had contacted in a previous dream, which is weird. It's like I remember in a previous dream, I thought about this old friend of mine and I wanted to get in contact with him, so I sent him a message. And he only got in contact with me in the next dream. That's really weird to me. But no one messaged. And it turned out the reason why is because no one cared. Because they were on the other side of the world, still back here in Britain. And it was like, it's not a big deal, right? It's just like, oh, it's just another shooting in America, right? Like, who cares? But to me, because I was there, like it was a big deal because I almost died, and it made me realize this sort of weird nightmare, this dream, that when you hear these stories on the news of people getting shot and people dying and wars going on, and we can just as long as we're not there, we can just brush it off and go, who gives a shit, right? We can just carry on sitting on our ass, eating Wotsits and watching YouTube. But these things are actually happening, and people in these places are legitimately dying and under attack, etc., etc. And it just made me realize that we get desensitized by the media just constantly flooding us with these horrific images, but they actually happen. And it was a very weird nightmare. When I woke up, as I said, I felt an overwhelming sense of sadness, but it wasn't me. It was like my brain was doing that. It wasn't me. I had no reason to wake up and be sad. It was just another day. But I was, and it's very strange. It's almost like that was a lesson, like that's what it was trying to teach me. Like it was trying to say, like, hey, you might see all this crap, but this is actually happening, and that was sort of the lesson. But I don't really know what to make of that. But I have never ever had a dream or nightmare or whatever as vivid as that one. You have vivid dreams, though.
Yeah, but don't you normally feel something when you wake up from a dream? Like, dreams can set you in a certain mood.
Well, yeah, I mean, I remember when I had a nightmare of you, and you were like some demon or something like that, and I was like, I woke up and I was like gasping for air. It was an awful one, yeah. But usually, that's you, right? The reason why this was so weird is I felt like I wasn't the one in control there. Like, I wasn't sad, but I was sad, and that freaked me out a bit. It's like, what was that? It's like my subconscious was crying, but I wasn't. And it was like my brain was trying to battle with who's in control, and that's freaky. And we'll get on more about, what we think and what the people think dreams are later, but that really freaks me out. But what is your example? Because you have endless examples of dreams and nightmares. You have one every night, pretty much. So.
Do you want me to tell you about a nightmare?
Oh, do the van one. The poison food one. Yeah. What?
Oh, that's a bit boring.
No, it's not. I thought that was interesting. Do that one.
Okay.
You can do more. We got time.
I don't really remember. I remember it was Christmas, and I was in my childhood home with my family and relatives. And me and my brothers, we were children in this dream. And we were in some sort of shack, I guess. And we were handing out presents to each other because I guess we didn't really think we had got enough or whatever. And then some big van car or like a truck pulled up, and we went outside to see what it was all about. And it was a bunch of strangers handing out food to us, and the food looked delicious. It was like cakes and different dishes. It was a lot of food. And my mom took some of it into the house. And then they gave me some, and I was going to take it into the house. And then the guy told me something like, enjoy your last Christmas. And I just looked at him and said, what do you mean last Christmas? And then he tried to explain that away. And then I understood that the food was poisoned.
Yeah, that's ominous. That's really... And the thing is, in Sweden right now,
Yeah.
your home country, there is a festival going on.
Yeah.
What Midsummer, right?
Yeah.
Which we don't celebrate here, where people eat food.
Yeah.
And you've actually went back and told your family, listen, if some weird guy comes around in a van and gives you free food, don't take it. That's weird, though.
Why so warm though?
Yeah, isn't that weird, though?
Because I'm paranoid. Yeah.
But I get it. I mean, don't get me wrong. If someone gave me a free ticket to Minnesota right now, I'd say, fuck that. I'm not going there.
I don't understand why, because they look like normal, nice people. Why would they be? And I remember waking up the next day, still in the dream, and I heard on the news that thousands of people have died because of this. Because then obviously the food was poisoned.
Yeah, that's just crazy. But you have endless amounts. Like, I have dreams and nightmares, but I kind of forget it. Unless I write them down, which I basically never do. I completely forget about them. But yours, you're like a dream extraordinaire. You have endless amounts.
Yeah, I dreams every night.
Every night?
Yes, every night.
Without fail?
Yeah, every night.
I have a dream like 1/5 of the time. You have that's crazy.
Yeah, well, sometimes multiple dreams every night.
Yeah, well, when I dream, I have multiple dreams, but most of the time I don't dream at all. Or, what if I do dream every night, but my mind just sort of wipes it before I wake up?
Yeah, but most of my dreams are not anything special. Like the truck dream, I told it to you.
Right, what's a dream that is special? Because you thought the truck one was boring, but I thought that was good. So what's an interesting one by your standards?
I don't know, maybe all of my cow dreams.
Oh, yeah, right. So, they keep right. Guess what? You would say, if you ask someone, what animal are you scared of? Most people would say spiders, crocodiles. I think you're pretty scared of them.
No.
But, you're not.
Well, the British spiders are massive, so maybe a little bit.
But you're not scared of crocodiles?
I wouldn't say so, no.
Bullshit.
I
You
haven't
are.
encountered any.
Well, I hope not. I'm walking to Asda and I see a crocodile in the car park. But no, it's like, but most people, if you said cow, they wouldn't be like, but with you, you're shit scared of cows.
Yeah, I'm scared of cows.
And the reason why is because you keep having these recurring nightmares about cows, and you've had these all your life for years.
Yeah, all my life.
Well, give us an example.
Well, most of the time I am in my home, maybe my childhood home or my home with my mother or something, and I'm outside in the yard playing or doing some innocent activity. And then suddenly I get I get this sense that cows are around me, and there's like the cows are loose.
What do you mean? What do you mean? You get a sense that there's cows around you? I've never heard of that.
No,
wait. I got a sense there's cows around me. I've never heard that.
Where I grew up, there was farmers and they had cows. So suddenly I'm aware that there are cows and they're not in their little,
How common is it for cows to escape from their things?
Probably not that common, but in my dreams they do all the time.
Enough to develop a sense.
Yes, and always in my dream, I kind of try to judge the distance between me and the cows and me and the front, like the door to my house. And it's always like, I think, can I get to my house before the cows get to me? And I always run, and sometimes I get to the house and I lock the door, but then they try to break down the door, and then I have to go upstairs. But sometimes they can climb upstairs, the cows, and then I don't know where to go, because wherever I am, the cows are gonna find me. And sometimes I don't get to the door, but then I wake up because the cows catch up to me. And sometimes I'm not that close to my home, so I have to run like a greater distance to get to my home. But they're always out to get me. And I don't know why. Sometimes it's like I barely get to close the door. And sometimes I have to fight with the door, in scary movies. Yeah. That's what I do sometimes.
If you had to estimate, how many cow dreams and nightmares have you had throughout your life? Is it in the hundreds?
Yeah, definitely.
But when you see
At least like maybe once or twice a month.
When you see a cow in real life, though, you're not shitting yourself. Like, you're scared of them, but you're not like having a heart attack. So why is your subconscious so scared of cows?
I think I know, because I experienced something when I was young.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, when I think I was like 5 or 6. Me and my 2 neighbor friends, they were my age. We went up to this farm because we saw like a little trail of blood, and the farmer was he was a butcher as well, and we were gonna explore. So we went into some abandoned shack-looking farmhouse. And then we open up, and there was a cow hanging there without its skin and with its head cut off.
Yeah, but would you have known that was a cow? Like, would you have been able to recognise that? Because I can't. I don't think I would recognise it.
Look, it was a massive animal, and it had its tail. So, yeah, I mean, I knew he was a cow farmer. He didn't have horses or anything else, so I just assumed it was a cow.
Right. And only after seeing that have you had the nightmares?
Yeah.
About?
I mean, I've always been a bit scared of cows because they're so big. And they have horns and I don't know.
But cows are nice creatures, though. They're nice animals. They're not like bulls.
I remember being asleep when after that happened and had to dream about headless cows. So I think that must have started my...
Are you all right drinking milk?
I don't like milk.
Are you? Can you drink it knowing it's from a cow, or does that make you go, fuck that, that's like evil poison?
No, it's not like that. I'm not terribly scared of cows when I'm awake. I mean, I wouldn't go up and pat them. And I don't find them cute or anything, which is strange for me.
Yes, that is true, because every animal, you know, it's like when you look at animals, you could find like something like, what are those weird little insect creatures called? Those dragonfly things. I can't remember the names. My friend used to have one. They're disgusting. They eat flies. Like dragonfly things. I don't know what they're called. They look like little lizards. You would find them nice. Like the gecko things. You like them. Yeah. But not a cow. That's very unusual. It's very unusual. But anyway, well, that's the thing. You theorise there that the reason why you have these cow dreams and nightmares is because of that. Well, we'll get on to what are dreams later, but that is a good point, because a lot of the times in dreams, they are sort of based in reality apart from that one. I see, I'm trying to make sense of them, but there is no sense to be made, because the nightmare I had was not based in reality at all, pretty much. But yet sometimes there are some which are. Like, for example, I had a dream about this, like the neighbourhood I live in, but it was completely... like there was no houses, and it was like the same neighbourhood 1,000 years ago. Like you could tell it was the same neighbourhood, but the house was made of like wood, and there was no roads, and it was like jungle everywhere, but you could tell somehow it was the same neighbourhood. So some of them are based in reality, some aren't. God knows what they are, but we'll get to that later. But it's time, enough of us. It's time to get to the people. So we asked 3 questions. The first was, what's the weirdest dreams you've ever had? And the second was, what are the worst nightmares you've ever had? And the last one was, what are dreams? I also tried to ask a 4th question to the people, which was, what was the greatest dream you've ever had? But no one answered. So it's funny how people gravitate towards the negative and the weird rather than the good. But I guess people don't really tend to remember the good dreams they had.
Well, what's the greatest dream you've ever had?
Well, there was one I remember, right? And this was years ago, so when I was very young. I couldn't swim. I only learned to swim when I was like... when do most people learn to swim?
When they're like 6? I don't know.
Yeah, I learned to swim when I was like 10 or something like that. Like I was very late to learning how to swim. And I wished I could... I remember wishing that I could swim. I remember back in like mid-2000s, went on holiday, and there was this swimming pool, and I remember my cousin could swim and I couldn't, and it made me feel crap, and I remember I had a dream not long after where I was underwater and I was like a mermaid, and I could swim and I could breathe underwater, and I was doing all these crazy tricks. And I remember I woke up and I was devastated because it wasn't real and I couldn't swim in reality, and I felt awful. And that was probably one of the best dreams I had. Like the best dreams you have is the ones where you feel sad, and it's you actually feeling sad when you wake up. But you tend not to remember them because your mind tends to eliminate them after and go, no, reality's better. You know, it's like a coping mechanism. But that's what I remember.
I don't really know about that, because sometimes I have dreams that make me feel really good. The dream itself might not be amazing. Maybe I don't win tons of money or have a lot of pets. But there's something about the dream that just makes it really good. And then when I wake up, I feel great and have a good day. That's like the best dreams for me.
Have you ever had a dream and you've told it to someone and they go, yeah, I've had similar, or I've had pretty much the same dream as that.
I don't think so, no.
I have.
No.
Me and my mother have been to like the same place in a dream, which is very unusual. And it's weird because it's like the DMT realms described. It's like multicolored little. It's like a multicolored place, and it's like it looks like a sort of playground in a way, but it's massive. And me and my mother have both talked about this separately to each other, that we have both been to this place in a dream.
Oh, I remember a dream. It was quite a few years ago when I was very sick, and I had a sleep paralysis. And in my sleep paralysis, I couldn't move, so I screamed for my mom, and I screamed. And then she came into my room and she woke me up, and she had a dream that I was screaming for her.
Yeah, that's weird. Seems like mothers and their sons and daughters seem to have some sort of connection when it comes to dreaming. And that's another thing, sleep paralysis. Completely forgot about that. You have that sometimes. Yeah. I've had it twice. For those who don't know, this is the weirdest thing ever. It's like you're awake, but your body's asleep.
Yes, you can't move.
Yeah, you can't move. So you're just sort of like, like you're trying to move and you can't, and you're desperately trying to move. I remember when I've had it, because I've only had it twice, so I remember it so vividly. You try and move your arm, but it's like rock, and you can't move it, and then you slowly get it back. It's like pins and needles in a way, but you don't feel the pins and needles. And then you finally move, and then it's like you're out of breath, and it's like, fucking hell, what was that? I've had that twice, and I have no idea why. You have it very commonly.
And it's always so difficult to breathe when you have that. It feels like somebody's strangling you.
Yeah, it feels like your sort of subconscious is just trying to commit suicide. It's an awful feeling. It only lasts maximum 30 seconds for me, but my God, that is awful. I don't know what that is, but that links to dreams. It must do. It's like an error. It's like a bug in the software when we're trying to wake up. Mm-hmm. You know how I had problems shutting my computer down? Yeah, it's like when you try and turn yourself back on. It doesn't work. It's like, you have to reboot multiple times. Very weird.
Always when I have my sleep paralysis, I try to scream and make noise. So when I wake up, it feels like I have screamed, like my throat feels weird.
Well, you do that in your sleep anyway. Last night you were doing that.
Screaming?
You were, yeah. You were like, no, you don't scream. You sort of go like, ah, ah. It's like, it's like a mild scream. It's like if you were taking the piss out of someone screaming. Like a real scream's loud, but yours is like, and when I pat you and I go, are you all right? You go, and then you just go back to normal.
Yeah, people have told me that. Like my brother came into my room one time and asked if I was okay because I was screaming, and I was asleep.
Yeah, you do. You go crazy, and you say, but that's the thing. This is another thing, right? When people are asleep, their personalities change. Like I.
Oh yeah, you become.
Yeah, I become like violent. I become violent. I do. Like if I'm asleep. And she tries to wake me up. What do I do?
I put my arm on you. You just slap me away.
And apparently I go, oh.
Yeah, you kick me and I'm like, no.
That is really weird. And I just become like some sort of ogre.
You're horrible, yeah.
And then, but when you're asleep, you become the exact opposite. You become like this scared, timid, like screaming, very sensitive. It's like a very over-exaggerated you. Yeah, but is really nervous.
Same with you, I guess. But you're very.
God, am I angry?
Soft and gentle.
Do I slap you?
No, you don't.
Right. Well, yeah, you better say that. You better say. Right, we'll edit that. We'll edit that part out. So, anyway, let's get to the people. The weird. So we asked.
You talk about anime when you're asleep.
That's true. For some, I become this violent domestic violence anime watcher. Yeah, but anyway, what did I ask them?
What is the weirdest dream you've ever had?
Right, let's go through. These are the responses. Try and say the names as well. By the way, these are on Reddit, so they're not the real names, and some people have the most retarded names ever. But give them a shot.
Okay, C4B4W4.
No, yeah, skip that one.
Yeah, he said, "I fucked my mom." That's what he said.
I didn't say nightmare. I said dream.
Yeah.
And if you had a dream, if you classify fucking your mum as a dream, that's a weird one. Thanks for that. C4, whatever your name is. You've got a great imagery in my head now.
Okay, Lee_2112. Ridiculous names. I was maybe around 8 to 10 years old and played a lot of Minecraft at the time. One night I dreamed that I was playing catch with my friends in my garden, but my house was a slit house on a Minecraft swamp. We lost the ball and I had to go find it, but a witch found it before me and told me I had to die in order to get the ball back. I then went inside to tell my mom, and she just said okay. Then she proceeded to lay down my school books to create my deathbed.
What the fuck is that? That's weird. Thing is,
that'd be funny.
I haven't played Minecraft like properly in a long time. There's no witch NPCs in Minecraft, so the witch must have been a real person, I think. And also, I'm pretty sure there's no deathbeds in Minecraft either. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's weird.
Your mom helping you make your deathbed, that is pretty weird.
Well, you got to get the football back. You know what can we say? It was a football they lost, right? Yeah, you got to get that back. Like that's the most important thing. Yeah, that is weird. That is strange. Like the thing is though, if dreams are fragments of the back of your mind, that guy at the time must have been thinking about witches and death, which is quite disturbing. But yeah.
Well, maybe he just saw a movie or something.
Well,
it can also
yeah,
be that.
yeah, possibly.
Then Maurice Mario said, I created an entire working video game. I still remember how the game goes, but it wasn't just there. I actually coded it. I don't even know how to code.
Yeah, right. So that's another thing, right? This guy has no idea about programming at all, and yet he's in the dream. He has programmed and it's made sense. A lot of people say that. A lot of people say that in dreams, things seem to make more sense than they do in reality, or they have skills that they otherwise wouldn't have in reality, which is very weird. That pans in less to the subconscious theory, but more to the sort of how would you put it, alternative universe theory.
Many times I've had a dream that I've made a song or something, and it's an amazing song, and it's like playing in my dream, and it makes all total sense. And then when I wake up, I don't really remember the dream, or like wrote a story or something.
I think everyone's had a dream where they've made some great creation, and then they wake up and it's like, I need to get that back. I've had that. I've had that with songs, lyrics of songs, where I've had them in a dream and I've tried to write them down, but by the time you finish, you forget. Yeah, that's really strange. There's a lot of people who make stuff in the dreams.
Yeah, I had it when I was a kid. We had an assignment that we were gonna make a story or something, and I had no idea what to write. And then I had a dream about this great story, and I remembered all of it, and I wrote it down, and I remember I got a good grade on it. And it was all because of my dream.
Thank you, dreams.
Yeah. Okay, Wizard Wolf said, I was really young, but I remember laying in my bed, waking up and seeing nothing but black everywhere. It felt like something was hovering over me, so I started running. I tried looking over my shoulder to see what was after me, but I tripped and woke up in real life. I wasn't scared, just shaken up. One of the few dreams I actually can remember, so I guess that's why it's weird.
Yeah, a lot of people in dreams say that they have that sort of feeling where there's some extraterrestrial body looking at them. It's like that feeling where you've been out in public and you know you're being watched. Yeah. Like you know you have eyes on you. They say it's like that. Like you know something's there even though you can't see it. A lot of people in dreams say that. It's very strange. It's kind of like a powerless feeling as well, I guess. But.
Well, that was all if you don't count the comment that I made on my Nadik account.
Yeah, so yeah, they're pretty weird. I'll be honest, I expected worse dreams when you had the word weird in there. I guess the first one was factually the weirdest, but yeah, they're very strange. But we also did ask, what's the worst nightmare? Now, some people would say, what's the difference between weirdest dream and worst nightmare? But weirdest dream is just sort of bizarre, right? Worst nightmare is meant to be like horrific. So what do people say for the worst nightmare?
Gorgo-chan said, I had a dream where I was chasing some guy. I get stabbed in the testicles and got run over by a car. What makes it bad is that it felt like they were real. My body still feels hurt even after waking up.
Yeah, like I know what you mean by that, because it's I've had a dream once where I remember that, I'll never forget this, I fell over and I remember watching my head slowly get closer to the concrete, like in first person. And when I woke up, I don't want to say it felt like I actually hurt my head, but I kind of had a headache as if I had. right? It was very weird. It's like the pain has sort of translated cross dimension. You know, I sound like I'm on crack, but it is. Yeah, I know what you mean by that.
That confused composer said, "Funny enough, I hardly ever have a nightmare. I usually write all my dreams down after I have them." Well, that was a really good answer.
Thanks a lot for that. No, but actually, that's a good point, because I think you should really start a dream journal. Can you imagine after like a year of you writing down in depth, like taking half an hour every morning, you writing down in depth your dreams, and then publishing that in a book? Like, wouldn't that be the most interesting book to read ever? Like you, like just reading dreams, like weird dreams. I reckon we should do that. Both of us should do that. Like we should write them down and then just put them together in this big fat collage, like the dream journal. I think it'd be very, very strange.
Somebody just said this, so I imagine
Well, Reddit, where we asked this question, is a very, very massive nightmare. I completely agree.
Kim Jong-un cousin said, "I dreamt once that all the guys on the planet were straight. I wanted to die. So many hunks out there. Yummy. No homo."
Well, you have a lot of men in North Korea available if you're Kim Jong-un's cousin, so I wouldn't even worry about it.
Yeah, they don't have to be homo to, go with him. Okay, that one sad pineapple said, "I once dreamed that my brother had a crush on me. It was fucking disturbing."
Now, you cringe at that, but I don't understand. And obviously, I get it's weird, right? But I don't have any brothers or sisters, so I've noticed this. If someone makes
You're more disturbed by incest than I am.
No, I know. But if someone makes an incest joke about like if you had a brother or sister, right? People with brothers and sisters wince at it, like it's awful. But I think if you don't have that, you don't quite understand it. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, not really, because to me it's so... I mean, if somebody makes an incest joke, I just take it as that, like a joke, because I could not imagine seeing my siblings in that way. So I almost think it's the opposite. When you have siblings, you just know that, you don't see it that way. And if you don't have siblings, then maybe you don't kind of understand it. I mean, it's like your mother. You don't see your mother in that way.
Oh God, change the subject. I feel like I'm going to faint.
No, but that's the same with siblings. You see them as your mother or father.
Right, anyway. Is there any more?
No, that was it.
Oh God, thank God for that. Well, I was actually expecting loads of in-depth horror, like, oh, I saw this demon in the forest and he ripped my face off and shit on me. I was expecting things like that. But they were legitimately strange. They were more weird than the weird dream question, which is very strange. But it adds to the penultimate question. What are dreams? What are they? And that's exactly what I asked. What are dreams to you? Because no one really knows. It's quite strange, isn't it, really, how we've been to the moon. Like, we can leave our planet, but we can't even get inside our own heads. It's like no one knows what dreams are. No one knows why we need to sleep. It's just we need it, and that's it, full stop. But no one knows why. Isn't that strange? So many theories have obviously cropped up about what dreams are. What do the people think? Because I have my theory.
Well, Barker 2017 think that it is a wish your heart makes.
Yeah, well, look. So that last guy who had a dream about like his brother having a crush on him, was that a wish his heart made? I don't think so.
You wish death on Americans, and I want to be chased by cows, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. That's not. I got an American flag on the wall. Look, that's poetic, okay, but I don't buy that one.
Okay, somebody with just a bunch of random letters said, "Your brain reflecting the thoughts and experiences of the previous day."
Not really, though, because sometimes I have dreams where it's got nothing to do with the last day or the last week or ever. Like, they're inexplainable. Yeah. Sometimes they can be, I'll give you that, like the swimming one. It's obvious where that came from. But sometimes it is just completely out there, and there's no logical explanation.
Yeah, and sometimes I have dreams that I am someplace with some people, and then months later I can have the same dream, and it's like a continuation of that dream.
It's just bizarre. So I agree, but not always.
Okay, Anti-Evil Corp said a window to other dimensions.
Yes. Yeah, so this is what I thought. I think more and more now, there's this scientific theory like the multiverse theory or something like that, where this is not the only like version of our dimension. I will sound like I'm on crack now, but like there's like an infinite multiverses. It's like it's like when you make a decision. Like if I go to the bathroom right now and take a piss, or I choose to stay here, like that decision will create another universe where I did go to piss rather than stay here, right? So there's like infinite universes for infinite decisions, things like that. There's no evidence for this whatsoever to my knowledge, but it's a nice little thing to think of. And a lot of people think that dreams are sort of like visions of you in another multiverse. I guess dimension isn't the right word to use, multiverse. And so you're actually seeing a sort of alternative version of yourself in a way, which is, I like that. I quite like it. Freaks me out in a way because it kind of makes you feel irrelevant if you're just one of trillion versions of you. But I like that in a way because it makes me think that there is a multiverse where you're surrounded by Shih Tzus and I'm on a cruise ship with trillions of dollars. But yeah, it's that is I like that one.
Dumb Guy 82 said, waking up without your body. But I think that is basically sleep paralysis.
Well, well, hang on a minute. I kind of get what he means there, because I said a long time ago that the mind, the brain is sort of split in two. You got the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, and they're both you. Like they share the same body, but you're different. You have a different perception of reality. So it's like you take turns. Like your conscious is in control when you're awake, but your subconscious is in control when you sleep. So I think what he's saying there is it's your subconscious just being in control, and that's the perception of reality, I guess. I don't know, but that's a good one.
He's called Dumb Guy, so probably not what he meant.
Yeah, Dumb Guy 82. Where's Dumb Guy? Where's the other? What happened to the other 81 dumb guys before you? Yeah.
Okay, Rasnal said the brain downloading the DLC.
God, I tell you what, I wish the world did have some DLC. Can we have I tell you, ever since 2012, the world has been going crazy. Can we have the DLC called Go Back to Fucking Normal? Wouldn't that be a good one? I'd download that one instantly.
Fallen Terror 13 said, I mean, most likely a mix between memories, reassembled, and random firing for your imagination. But a story I wrote said they were you watching events in other dimensions. But that's just a story.
Yeah, pretty much exactly what the other guy just said. It makes my mind. It's like when you're trying to think of how big the universe is, and you zoom out, and it gets to a point where your mind can't take it anymore, and it sort of short circuits. That's what I get when I think what dreams are. It's like my brain short circuits, and it's like
we're not advanced enough to.
No, it's like we don't have the drivers to figure it out yet. You know.
And then Katie did 18 said, the brain keeping itself entertained while there's no other stimuli.
Does the brain really need to be entertained when you're asleep? I mean, isn't the point of sleep? We don't know, but isn't it meant to be your brain taking it easy and going under maintenance? Does it need to be entertained then? I don't buy that one.
Why do some people want to be entertained like every night and then others never?
Why does your brain crave the dreams but mine has one once in a blue moon? I don't buy that one.
But it could also be that everyone dreams every night. It's just you don't always remember it.
Yeah. I don't know. Was that all the responses?
Yeah,
well, yeah. I mean, look, no one knows what dreams are. I don't think well, we might know in our lifetime. I don't know, but right now we have absolutely no idea. I don't know what I want to be true. I don't want the If we found out that there was multiverses, everything would fall apart because people would go, fuck it, life doesn't matter at that point. I like to think that it's just sort of like the subconscious mind's sort of going under maintenance. That'd be like a nice little logical conclusion. Like, okay, I can live with that. And we're just getting like little fragments, like little errors that we're not meant to see. Like, I can deal with that. It's pretty boring, but that I think that'd be the most sensible conclusion. Like, I like to think the multiverse ones, but if that was true, our world would just completely collapse.
Yeah, well, it makes me think of, it was a guy, he opened his front door because somebody was ringing on his front door, and somebody stood there with a gun, and they shot him. And then, he remembered getting shot, and then he just came back to reality. He opened the door and somebody without a gun was standing there. And then somebody was driving a car and he saw there was like somebody going against a red light and they collided. And then he just woke up and he was still in that scenario, but he didn't collide with the car. So it's just maybe if you die, then your soul or your conscious just jumps into another you in another dimension or something.
But why do we see that?
What do you mean?
Like, why do we see that when we're asleep?
No, this is when they're awake.
Yeah, but what's that got to do with dreams?
I don't know, maybe the conscious isn't us.
You see, this is what I mean. We don't know. We can't even begin to fathom it. Our brain just short circuits, and it's like game over. I really wish there was a conscious effort to find out what the hell dreams are.
Well, I'm sure there are people working on that.
We would have had it figured out by now, right?
Complex. I don't know.
What something everyone in the world does, and we ain't figured it out yet. Well, like, we've got unlimited test
But it's
subjects.
the same with our consciousness or our soul. Nobody knows what that is. And it's even weirder.
Well, true. Well, I guess when we find the answer to that, we'll find out the answer to what dreams are. But my God, whatever it is, it's a mystery of our time. You know, this is why I get angry at you when you say, "Oh, I want to go space, etc., etc., and all this stuff." It's like we don't even know what's going on here. You want to go to fucking Mars or whatever? I want to find out what we are first, and then we start going everywhere. Like, fucking hell, I don't want to go to some rock light years away. I want to figure out what's going on right in here.
Yeah, but
in this brain.
I think that when we have the technology to go there, we can also figure out what's here.
I don't. We've already been to the moon and we still have no idea what the hell we're doing.
I don't want to go to the moon. I want to go elsewhere.
Oh, well, fuck that.
I want to go to...
Look, if someone put me in charge of where should the funding go, space travel or dream travel, we're picking dreams. Dreams and psychedelics, which are probably very relative.
No, I agree with you. But I'm...
Do you know?
Yeah, no, of course I want to know that. And it makes sense that you fix your own home before you go somewhere else.
That's another thing.
You clean
I think,
your own room before
yeah,
you...
that's another thing. I think dreams and psychedelics go hand in hand. Because when people take a psychedelic, it's like I called it like the subconscious leaks into the conscious and you see things that aren't there. It's like when you imagine something. If I say to you, imagine an elephant, right? And you think, oh, I can imagine an elephant. When you're on psychedelics, it's like you would see the elephant. You would actually see what's in your mind. That's like a leakage of the subconscious in the conscious. I think they're very related to one another. Whatever that structure is related to one another. But either way, we have absolutely no fucking idea. We probably never will. But there you go.
We will. Of course we will.
Look, I'm optimistic that we will find out, but I don't think enough effort is being done to find out what's going on.
People are too busy with identity politics.
Yeah, I know. And people are too busy with
gender studies.
figuring out what bathroom to go in. We don't even... Like, we're asking the wrong questions these days.
Well, yeah, gender studies is more important than that.
Well, that's the thing. A society in denial about the most basic things will never figure out anything advanced. You know, like this is the state of the world we're in now. It's just a travesty. But anyway, wow, this has been going on for almost 40 minutes. That is a bit crazy. Right, it's time to go.
We don't even know how many genders there are.
Yeah, it really is time to go. Right, see ya.